Hey there. Thanks for joining me for another episode of Blind Buys. Today we've got a special request, something that somebody asked for many months ago, and I am finally fulfilling that request. Good friend of the channel, Megatron, asked for this many months ago, and then more recently, Beignet Balint asked for this fragrance also, and it kind of reminded me that now that the weather has gone a little more cold, I feel like this fragrance might be a little less offensive. I don't know why, but for some reason I get the feeling that this is not really a warm weather fragrance. This is going to be more for fall or winter. We're going to have to see how this wears out, and you're going to have to check out the other side of the waterfall to find out how I wore this and how it really played out in the long run. If you aren't watching on the other side of the waterfall, you're missing half the videos and basically all of the long-term thoughts. So before we jabber too much into it, you saw the title, you know what we're opening. This is Tony Iommi's Monkey Special by Xerjoff. This is how it came. I am pretty sure I got this from Fragrance Buy. So it came in this white box. It is a 1.7 ounce bottle. And this is as far as I've ever opened it. I've just seen this box. And I know that this flappy is flappy for whatever reason. So now this is as far as I've ever gotten. We'll discard that. And this is the whole presentation. It's got this interesting little, let's see if we get some color on the back instead of just all gray. That's quite interesting. We will have to cut this open. It looks like it goes end to end, and yeah. I've read some reviews, not recently or anything, but for some reason I get the feeling that this is a very patchouli heavy fragrance, which might be offensive to some. I'm going to really have to work up the amount of sprays that I use day to day. I almost feel like I can smell some coming through the box already, just real crazy patchouli, which is interesting because the main accords on our old Fragrantica cop-out are warm, spicy, woody, sweet, rum, amber, vanilla, cinnamon, and then patchouli, caramel, and balsamic. I'm trying not to damage this box since I paid, I think, $200 for 1.7. Ooh, look at that. There's even a nice design on the inside of the box. That's how you know you're getting a, well, what I would believe to be a quality product. Just small touches like that make me feel better about spending stupid money. Looks like fake leather box. Squishy on the bottom. Oh, squishy on the top. See, that's squishy. The Xerjoff X. You guys can make fun of me for mispronouncing anything. It's fine. Sometimes I talk very stupid. But Xerjoff on the bottom. I believe it opens like this. We'll try and do a flappy without breaking or destroying anything. And we'll give you the first look. Oh, something fell out. Oh no. I hope it's the right way. Oh, okay. So what do we got going on here? We've got some sort of velour felt, some sort of feltish liner here. Open that up, and what do we got? We have a chrome bottle and a fancy box to go away into nothing. Look at that. That's very shiny. No way to see into it. It's perhaps a little smaller than I thought. It's just a little kind guy. And everywhere I can see my fingerprints, and the condensation kind of drives me insane. These typical Xerjoff caps. Very heavy. And the atomizer has moved in transit, so not perfect. I like having them facing the right way. Without drawing on too much, let's go, since we already have 1, 2, just a little squirt on the second. And since I do have places to be tonight, I am going to work my way up. Give her the old... Oh, that's a pretty good shot. Let's just go back of the neck for siage's sake. Okay, so on first sniff, this kind of reminds me of an old woman. Yeah, kind of weird. Not super stoked on this one. Okay, we gotta let this go for a minute before we get too judgmental or harsh. Definitely gonna have to wear this one for a full week. It's powdery, you know. It's got a powdery top to it for whatever reason. Not super stoked about that. Although the more I sniff it, it reminds me of, and I wish I knew the brand, but it's the green bottle barbershop powder. Yeah, it's just very powdery, actually. It's way more powdery on the top than I really would have expected with main accords like warm, spicy, and woody. So let's kind of see what some top notes we have going on. We have rum, passion fruit, bergamot, and geranium on the top. In the middle, we have cinnamon, Singapore patchouli, leather, and Bulgarian rose. In the bottom, we have caramel, vanilla, tonka bean, sandalwood, labdanum, ambergris, and musk. So a whole pyramid, a real long list of notes, creating amalgamation of just craziness. This is definitely going to take some time to work through its various notes, and I think this is probably going to be as complex and dynamic as that note listing. This is obviously my only offering from this house, so I have no idea what to expect, other than a fancy box and a fancy bottle. So really, checking me out on the other side of the waterfall to get a full picture and how this went for the rest of the week. So thanks, guys. Okay, folks. I've been wearing Tony Iommi Monkey Special for around 25 days. It's been quite a bit of time. This one took a little bit because I sort of needed some getting used to this one. It's really not a like a standard mall fragrance, and it's pretty expensive, so I wanted to get my good wearing out of it just up front anyhow. This fragrance came out in 2021, and Fragrantica lists the perfumer as Chris Maurice. Whole bunch of fragrances under his name, but most notably 72 offerings from Xerjoff. So basically every fragrance that the house has ever done. Don't quote me on that, but 72 is a lot. As in terms of batch code, I've got L06023D, which gives us a born on date of March 1st, 2023. So this isn't too old, 8 months old or so. Not too bad. For housekeeping, I got this off of Fragrance Buy, and I paid $180.23. After conversions, of course, Canadian, it was like 220 something. This is a 1.7 or 50 ml bottle, which works out to $106.01 per ounce. Probably the most expensive fragrance I've got, short of Romance Silver, which is long discontinued, and I paid an exorbitant fee on eBay for that one. But as far as production fragrances go, this is way up there. Projection wise, this is quite strong. It'll make you go anosmic, I think. I give it a 7 out of 10, maybe an 8 out of 10. It's quite strong, but not like overbearing or like killing people in the room. People are going to smell it on you if you're in the vicinity, but it's not a room filler. For longevity, it's pretty exceptional. It's 12 plus hours across wearing. It's a super dynamic fragrance, so you're gonna get different sections of wear throughout the entire thing. One accord for 4 hours, the next set of accords for 4 hours. The dry down is wholly unique, and then it's patchouli the next day. So I give it 12 plus hours, depending on how you're working up a sweat. You might find some patchouli on your skin. You'll definitely find it on your clothing the next day. So this is kind of, it's not really too hard to see who this is targeted for, being that it's Tony Iommi, it's Black Sabbath. It's kind of for the older generation, people who know the name. This isn't really going to be something that the younger folks are going to want to wear. You can, of course, you can do whatever you want at any time. You can wear whatever you want and it'll be totally fine. You might catch a couple side eyes. This might be a little weird if you're in your 20s, going out to the club in your 20s. This ain't it. This is not, it's not even that fragrance type. Okay. It's different. It's got a sort of rum raisin sort of accord off the top. It lasts for a good few hours. Towards the middle, it becomes more of a sweet red spicy fragrance. It's sweet and spicy, and it sits around like that for a while. In the latter third, it becomes, well, sweet. It stays sweet, but it's more vanillic, caramely, and a touch incensey. It's not so spicy anymore. It becomes very sweet. It's kind of got a dusty, dry, sweet ambergris sort of thing. What I associate ambergris to be, kind of sticks around like that for the last third, quote unquote, before basically completely turning into a, not wook patchouli, it's its own patchouli, but it is distinctly patchouli, and that'll last on your skin and on your clothing for, hours and hours and hours. I found that I think I said a bit earlier, I sort of found myself going anosmic to this. It took a long time to really work this out because it is a strong fragrance, and it'll get up into your nose holes and really do some damage. It's kind of hard to suss out when you're wearing the fragrance by all day and you're just inundated in it for days on end. But it is a great fragrance. It just took extra time. It's very strong, basically. It's not like Dior Sauvage Elixir strong. It didn't like seep into my notebook forever and like stain it with scent, but it is a strong scent and it'll kind of make you go anosmic. 2 to 3 sprays was very much plenty. I really would not want to go 4 or 5 or anything more. Not just because it's only offered in 50 ml, but simply because it's not needed. Um, so really, at the end of the day, this is a good fragrance, but I don't think this is going to be for everybody. You're really going to want to be more adventurous in terms of like your fragrance buying. I don't think that most people are going to find you might find it pleasurable, but chances are you're not going to want to take the amount of time that it took to change your opinion from this is weird to, oh, I actually like putting that on every day. It's sort of an acquired taste, and it's, I guess that is what it is when it comes to high dollar fragrances. Being that there's thousands and thousands of scents out there, this one's pretty unique. And, whatever, it stands out in its own regard. So that being said, guys, I'm pretty stoked to have worn this. It's time to wear something else. So we're going to dive in and find something else to wear. But until next time, guys, find something that's as unique as you are. Wear it unabashedly. And until the next time I see you, talk to you, or anything else, take it easy, you guys. Thanks.